Imagine building your entire brand on helping women heal from toxic relationships. Imagine having millions of followers hanging on your every word about self-worth, boundaries, and choosing yourself. Now imagine discovering that while you were teaching the world about red flags, you were living with the biggest one of all, and he was sleeping right next to you. This is the story of Lisa. And what happened to her didn't just break the internet. It broke every rule about love, loyalty, and what happens when your private hell becomes public healing. But here's what makes this story different from every other influencer drama you've heard. This isn't about clout or content or manufactured beef for views. This is about a woman who discovered that sometimes the person teaching others to swim is actually drowning. And if you believe that real stories have the power to change lives, hit that subscribe button now. Because what you're about to hear isn't just entertainment, it's a masterclass in recognizing the difference between love and performance. Let me take you to Lagos, Nigeria, the city where dreams get built and broken on Wi-Fi connections and ring lights, where young people are turning their pain into platforms, their struggles into success stories, and their voices into movements. In this digital gold rush lived a woman known to the world as the Healing Voice. Her real name was Liza, but to her 2.3 million TikTok followers, she was salvation in a smartphone screen. Picture this. Every morning at 7 a.m. Lagos time, women across Africa, across the world, would open their phones waiting for her voice. That gentle, knowing tone that somehow reached through the screen and held their hands while they learned to love themselves again. "Good morning, beautiful souls," she would say, looking directly into the camera like she was speaking to each person individually. Today, we're talking about the voices that tell us we're not enough. And today, we're choosing not to listen. Her content was medicine. Videos about healing from emotional abuse, setting boundaries with toxic family members, recognizing when someone was love-bombing you, learning to trust your intuition when something felt wrong. Women would comment, "You saved my life. You helped me leave. You taught me my worth." But what they didn't know was that while Liza was teaching the world about red flags, she was colorblind to her own. His name was Landon. Tall, quiet, brilliant in that understated way that makes you lean in closer to hear what he has to say. Where Liza commanded rooms with her presence, Landon commanded screens with his fingers. He was a gaming influencer, the kind of guy who could make playing video games look like performance art. To his 800,000 followers, he was the cool, mysterious gamer who rarely showed his face, but whose voice could guide you through any quest, any challenge, any level that seemed impossible to beat. They met at a creator event in Lagos. She was giving a workshop on authentic storytelling. He was there networking, building partnerships, growing his brand. But when their eyes met across that crowded hotel conference room, everything else faded to background noise. "You're the healing girl," he said when he approached her after her session. "And you're the mysterious gamer," she replied, smiling. "Want to be mysterious together?" It was a line that should have been cheesy, but something about the way he said it, something about the genuine curiosity in his eyes, made it feel like poetry. They started collaborating, her healing content, his gaming skills. They created a series called Healing Through Play, where she would talk about processing trauma while he demonstrated how gaming could be therapeutic, meditative, even transformative. The audience loved it. The chemistry was undeniable. The comments section became a shrine to their connection. Relationship goals. "When's the wedding? You two are perfect together, but here's where the story takes its first dark turn." Behind the cameras, behind the carefully curated content, behind the brand partnerships and the collaborative posts, Landon started planting seeds. "Baby," he would say, "don't you think we're moving too fast in public? Maybe we should keep some things private." "You're probably right," Liza would agree. "Some things should be sacred." Exactly, sacred, just between us. Red flag number 1, isolation disguised as intimacy. 6 months after they met, Landon proposed. Not with a ring light and a ring camera, not with a viral TikTok announcement, but quietly, privately, in their shared apartment with just a simple gold band and the promise that their love was too real for the internet. "Let's get married," he whispered. "Just us, just God, just real." And because Liza had built her entire brand on authenticity, on realness, on cutting through the performative nature of social media, she said yes. They went to a courthouse, 2 witnesses they barely knew, a 5-minute ceremony, a certificate that made them legally husband and wife, but emotionally islands. This is better, Landon convinced her. This is pure, no pressure from followers, no expectations, no performance, just us. Red flag number 2, making secrecy sound like spirituality. For months they lived in this strange double life. Online, they were collaborators, friends, creative partners with obvious chemistry. Offline, they were husband and wife, sharing a bed, sharing bills, sharing dreams. But sharing, as it turns out, was not Landon's strength. The first sign something was wrong came 4 months later when Liza discovered she was pregnant. She was scared, excited, overwhelmed, but most of all, she was ready to tell the world. "Landon, I think it's time," she said, holding the positive pregnancy test like a tiny miracle. "People are going to figure it out anyway, and I want to share this joy." His face changed. The warmth disappeared, replaced by something colder. Calculating. "Babe, no, not yet. You know how the internet is. They'll tear us apart. They'll make this about content, about clicks. Let's protect this. Let's protect our baby." Red flag number 3, using your hopes and fears to control your choices. So Liza stayed quiet, even as her body changed. Even as morning sickness made filming difficult, even as every instinct told her that love shouldn't have to hide in the shadows. She made excuses for her absence. Taking a mental health break, focusing on family, stepping back to recharge. Her followers were concerned, but supportive. Self-care is not selfish, Queen. We'll be here when you're ready. Your peace matters more than our entertainment. If only they knew that her peace was exactly what was being shattered. It was a Tuesday evening when everything unraveled. Liza was cleaning their shared content studio, the room where they filmed their collaborations, where they built their digital empires. And there, wedged between camera equipment and ring lights, she found a phone. Not his main phone. A second phone. Now, before you think burner phone for side chicks, let me tell you what made this worse. This wasn't a throwaway device for secret messages. This was a full secondary life. Another Instagram account, another TikTok profile, another entire relationship. With photos, with videos, with promises, with plans. The woman's name was Kemi. Beautiful, bubbly, the kind of girl who took selfies in golden hour light and made ordinary moments look like magazine spreads. And in message after message, Landon was building a future with her. "Can't wait to travel with you. You're going to love my family. Next year, when I'm ready to settle down, it's going to be with you." But it was the voice note that destroyed her. Kemi asking, "What about that girl you collaborate with? Liza, aren't you two together?" And Landon's laugh, that casual, dismissive laugh that felt like acid on her heart. "Liza? Nah, baby, that's just work. That marriage thing? It's not even real. We did it for content ideas, for the storyline. Don't worry about her, you're my real future." Content ideas, storyline, their marriage, their vows, their shared life, reduced to content strategy. Liza sat on that studio floor, 4 months pregnant, holding evidence of a betrayal so deep it had its own social media presence, and something inside her broke. Not just her heart, her understanding of reality. How do you trust your intuition when the person you love most has been gaslighting you professionally? How do you teach others about red flags when you've been colorblind to your own? How do you heal others when your own wounds are being inflicted daily by someone who promised to protect you? For 3 weeks, she said nothing. She moved through their apartment like a ghost, made small talk during their collaborative videos, smiled when he kissed her goodnight, pretended everything was normal while everything was ending. But here's what Landon didn't understand about the woman he married. Liza didn't just teach healing, she lived it. And sometimes healing means burning down everything that's hurting you, even when it hurts to light the match. The video that broke the internet was filmed in their bedroom at 3 a.m. while Landon slept next to her. No ring light, no perfect angles, no script, just a woman, her phone camera, and the truth. "Hey, beautiful souls," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I need to tell you something, and I need you to listen not as my audience, but as my sisters." She took a breath that sounded like courage gathering itself. "For months, I've been teaching you about recognizing toxicity, about trusting your instincts, about choosing yourself. And for months, I've been living the opposite of everything I preach." The comments started immediately. Hearts, prayers. "We love you. We're here. The man sleeping next to me right now is my husband. We've been married for 8 months, in secret, because he convinced me that our love was too real for the internet. But I found out yesterday that while he was telling me our marriage needed to be private, he was telling another woman it wasn't real at all." She held up the marriage certificate. The camera shook in her hands, but her voice got stronger. "I'm pregnant, 4 months, and instead of celebrating this life growing inside me with the world, I've been hiding it because my husband told me it would be better for our brands to keep it quiet." She laughed, but it wasn't humor. It was the sound of illusions shattering. "To every woman I've told to choose herself, this time I'm choosing me. Because even healers need healing, and sometimes the person who's supposed to love you most is the one making you sick." She ended the video with words that would become a movement. "If your love has to be hidden, it's not love, it's control. And today I'm taking control back." Within 6 hours, that video had 12 million views. Within 12 hours, it was trending on every platform. Within 24 hours, the entire internet was detective working their way through months of content, finding clues, connecting dots, building timelines. And Landon woke up to a world that knew exactly who he was and what he'd done. His response was predictable: denial, deflection. "It's complicated. You don't understand our relationship. She's dealing with pregnancy hormones." But the internet is undefeated when it comes to receipts. Screenshots of his conversations with Kemi started surfacing, video evidence of him with other women while married to Liza, audio recordings of him talking about their marriage like it was a business partnership. His followers, his brand deals, his carefully constructed gaming empire, gone. Not because the internet cancelled him, but because the truth exposed him. But this story isn't about his downfall. This story is about her rise. In the weeks that followed, Liza didn't just heal. She healed publicly. She shared her therapy sessions. She talked about the shame of being wrong about someone you loved. She discussed the difference between forgiveness and foolishness. She created a new kind of content, real-time recovery from public betrayal. And women didn't just watch, they participated. They shared their own stories of hidden relationships, secret marriages, love that demanded silence. They created a movement around the hashtag #LoveInTheLight. The comments section became a support group. "My boyfriend of 3 years won't post me either. After watching your story, I'm done. You helped me realize that if he loved me, he'd want the world to know. I thought privacy was protection. You showed me it was prison." 5 months later, Liza gave birth to a baby boy. Not in hiding, not in secret, but surrounded by light, love, and the chosen family she'd built from her authentic voice. The birth announcement video was simple. Her son's tiny hand wrapped around her finger and her voice stronger than ever. "To every woman who asks, should I stay even when he hides me? My answer is this: if a man cannot honor you in the light, he doesn't deserve your love in the dark." That video has over 50 million views, not because it's dramatic or shocking, but because it's true. Today, Liza is thriving. Her platform grew to 8 million followers. She wrote a book called Healing in Public that became a bestseller. She speaks at conferences about authentic influence and the responsibility creators have to their audiences. And Landon? He disappeared from social media entirely. Some say he moved back to his hometown. Others say he's working a regular job, living a regular life, learning what it means to be accountable for the damage you cause. But this story isn't about revenge or karma or getting what you deserve. This story is about the incredible power of choosing truth over comfort, authenticity over approval, and yourself over someone who doesn't know how to value you. The moral isn't complicated. If your love must be hidden, it's not love, it's control. Real love wants to be celebrated, not concealed. Real love wants to build you up in public, not tear you down in private. Real love doesn't ask you to disappear so it can exist. And sometimes the greatest healing happens when you stop whispering your pain and start speaking your truth. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that you deserve love that's proud to claim you, if it made you think about your own relationships and whether they're building you up or breaking you down, share it. Share it with every woman who needs to hear that hidden doesn't mean sacred, secret doesn't mean special, and privacy doesn't mean protection. Subscribe to this channel because stories like this matter. Stories about real people making real choices that lead to real healing. Stories that remind us that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is tell the truth. Even when it's scary, even when it's messy, even when it changes everything. Until next time, remember, you deserve love that wants to be seen. You deserve love that's proud to claim you. You deserve love that builds you up in the light, not tears you down in the shadows. And if someone asks you to hide your love, maybe it's time to find someone who wants to celebrate it instead.